This video is a practical guide to the Renters' Rights Act 2025 and how Property Manager helps landlords, letting agents, and management companies prepare for a more evidence-led rental market. It is not legal advice, but it is designed to show what operational readiness looks like. The Act received royal assent on the 27th of October 2025. The first phase of measures began on the 1st of May 2026, with further milestones staged later, including the private rented sector database, the landlord ombudsman, and future standards around Awab's law and decent homes in the private rented sector. The important point is this: property management is becoming less about informal memory, scattered inboxes, and phone calls, and more about clear records, transparent communication, and timely action. For landlords and agents, the question is no longer just, did someone report a repair? The better question is, when was it reported? Who saw it? What evidence came with it? What was the risk level? Who was assigned? What messages were sent? What appointment was offered? What happened on site? And what proof exists if a complaint, enforcement query, or dispute appears later? That is exactly where Property Manager is designed to help. The platform connects the Backend portal, the Tenant mobile app, and the Supplier mobile workflow, so a repair or complaint can move from tenant report to triage, supplier action, evidence, appointment, chat, and closeout without losing the audit trail. In a post-Renters' Rights Act environment, this kind of joined-up evidence is not a nice extra. It becomes part of how responsible property teams protect tenants, protect landlords, and show that they acted properly. One of the biggest operational changes is the pressure on repair handling. The government guidance is clear that the Act is part of a wider shift toward better standards, better tenant protection, and clearer responsibilities across the sector. In practice, that means repair journeys need to be visible. If a tenant reports damp, mold, heating failure, electrics, water ingress, security, or another urgent problem, the property team needs more than a loose email chain. With Property Manager, the tenant can report the issue from the mobile app on Android or iOS. The report is guided step by step. The tenant selects the residence, chooses the issue type, describes the problem, sets the priority, adds access notes, and uploads evidence such as photos, video, audio, or files. That information creates a structured repair case. The back-end team can see the case number, diagnosis information, priority, timeline, evidence, messages, and appointment state. If the platform detects that the issue looks urgent, duplicated, or related to other reports, that context can be surfaced early, rather than being discovered days later. This matters because tenants will be more empowered to challenge poor practice. Section 21 no-fault eviction is being abolished, so residents should feel safer raising legitimate issues. For responsible landlords and agents, that is not a threat. It is an opportunity to prove that they operate well. The advantage of Property Manager is that every step is joined up: tenant report, triage, supplier assignment, evidence capture, appointment updates, communication, and closeout. Instead of trying to reconstruct events after the fact, the platform gives you a living record of what happened and when it happened. Repairs do not stop at the office. A major weakness in many property operations is the handover between the management team and the supplier or contractor. A tenant reports an issue. The office makes notes. A contractor is called. Someone attends, or does not attend. There may be a no-access event, a parts delay, a reschedule, or a second visit. If those steps are not recorded properly, the landlord and agent are exposed to confusion and dispute. Property Manager addresses this by linking repair cases to supplier workflows. The Supplier mobile app gives trades and contractors a clearer daysheet. They can review the job pack before they travel. Address, access notes, appointment window, priority, repair history, tenant context, and office instructions. During the visit, the supplier can update status: accepted, travelling, arrived, paused, no access, parts needed, or completed. They can capture before and after photos, video, notes, materials, safety answers, and no access proof. That evidence flows back into the repair case. The office does not have to chase every update manually. The tenant can see progress through the app, and the management team can keep an auditable record. This is especially important as the sector prepares for later phases around the Ombudsman, the PRS database, decent homes, and AWAB's law in the private rented sector. Even where dates are staged or subject to further consultation, the direction is clear. Serious hazards, poor communication, and weak evidence will become harder to defend. The platform helps property teams move from reactive chasing to controlled workflow. Assign the right supplier, track the appointment, capture proof, escalate blockers, and close the loop with the tenant. The Renters' Rights Act also increases the importance of good communication. Tenants, landlords, agents, local councils, tribunals, and future redress routes all depend on information being clear and available. Property Manager supports that through structured messages, tenant announcements, documents, complaints, and support resources. For tenants, the mobile app becomes a resident hub. They can see updates, repair messages, appointments, documents, support details, complaint options, and property information in one place. That reduces uncertainty and gives the tenant a clearer route to engage constructively. For management teams, the Backend portal provides the operational record. If a tenant raises a complaint, the team can link it to a residence, a property, a repair case, evidence, messages, and timeline events. If a certificate, tenancy document, manual, or notice needs to be shared, the document area keeps it organised and tenant safe. The platform is also designed for white-labelled portals. That matters because many management companies want tenants and landlords to engage with their own brand while still using a shared operational system behind the scenes. Good communication is not just about sending more messages. It is about sending the right update at the right point from the right record with the right evidence behind it. A tenant should not have to repeat the same story 4 times. A landlord should not have to search through different inboxes to understand what happened. A manager should not have to guess whether the team responded. Property Manager brings these threads together so the organisation can show a clearer, more professional, and more defensible standard of service. The Act also pushes the sector toward more standardised processes. Tenancy reform, rent increase rules, clearer possession grounds, database obligations, and future ombudsman requirements all point to the same conclusion. Property data needs to be organised before it is needed. Property Manager is being built as a wider property operations platform, not just a repair ticket system. The Tenant app can support lifecycle tasks, move-in and move-out checklists, meter readings, inventory evidence, tenancy documents, and property information. The Backend portal can support portfolio readiness, organisation structures, landlord and management company hierarchies, user permissions, compliance records, asset QR codes, and reporting. Asset QR reporting is a good example. A tenant can scan a code on an appliance or property asset, open the correct asset context, and start a repair from that item. That reduces vague reports and gives the management team better information from the first moment. Multilingual support and guided self-help also matter. A resident who understands the process is more likely to give useful information, follow emergency guidance, and provide the evidence needed for a quicker resolution. For landlords and agents, readiness is about more than ticking a box. It is about having the right data model, the right workflow, the right evidence trail, and the right communication channel. It is about knowing which properties have missing documents, which repairs are stalled, which suppliers are underperforming, which complaints need a response, and which tenants need an update. Property Manager is designed to make that visible, so management teams can operate with confidence rather than waiting for a problem to become a formal dispute. So what is the real advantage of Property Manager in the Renters' Rights Act era? It is the fact that the platform connects the people, the evidence, and the workflow. Tenants get a mobile app that makes it easier to report issues, upload evidence, follow progress, manage appointments, read updates, access documents, submit complaints, and get support. Suppliers get a mobile workflow that makes jobs clearer, captures field evidence, records no-access events, and keeps the office updated. Management teams get a back-end portal that brings repair cases, work orders, appointments, suppliers, residents, landlords, documents, complaints, compliance, reports, white labelling, and audit history into one place. That combination is what matters. The new rental framework increases the cost of weak process. If a team cannot show what happened, when it happened, and what action was taken, the risk rises. But when every report, message, attachment, appointment, supplier update, and decision is tied to a clear record, the organisation can respond faster and more confidently. The Renters' Rights Act is not just a legal change. It is a signal that tenant experience, property standards, and evidence-led management are becoming central to the rental market. Property Manager is built around that direction: tenant-first reporting, supplier accountability, management visibility, white-labelled client portals, documents, complaints, lifecycle tasks, asset QR reporting, multilingual support, and AI-assisted self-help under controlled rules. For responsible landlords, letting agents, and management companies, the opportunity is clear. Use better systems now, build better records now, and deliver a better rental experience before enforcement, disputes, or complaints force the issue later.